Hi, Dash. I unmuted you.
Is it just me and you?
No, there
Okay.
are 11 other people right now. How are you?
Hello, girls.
Hey, Ellen.
Hi. Let's stretch and bend and get strong. Hey.
Hi, Leslie. Ellen, I would say it's good to see your face, but I can't see you.
Well, you don't want to see me right now. That's all I'm going to say.
We're all in that same boat.
I like the headband that you got there. I think I'm going to get one of those, and just find something to just hold that wild wig back.
That's right. A headband fixes everything.
That's right. Beautiful. Beautiful thing. Classes have been going well, it looks like.
Yeah, they've been going really well. So thanks to everybody on this call who's already joined us.
Oh, it's been fun to see everybody too. Once class starts, we go to mute, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thanks, Dash, for doing this for us. Think you can hear us. She is our instructor today, correct?
She is.
Yes.
She lost her voice. Oh no.
Looked like she was outside.
She is outside. Bummer. That is a huge bummer for you.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll be following along and just not talking today. Yeah.
With her setup, can you hear her, Jana?
I think so.
I'll unmute. Or mute, I mean. Let's see.
Dash, is Emma going to do the talking for you? That's perfect. Can you hear me? Great. You're adorable.
Voice. Can everybody hear me? I've just been really funny. That took me everything I could not to talk. For those who don't know me, I'm Anna Marie, and I'm just having fun. Life's short, right? So that was my April Fool's joke.
I hope everyone appreciated that as much as I do.
I had to do something. I was like, I'm teaching on April Fool's today. I have to do something. Hi, everybody. I know you're on mute right now. Are they all muted right now?
Almost.
Okay. Not that you have to be. So I was going to say that's part of this actual class is that a little bit of interaction with everything is fine with me. So typically in Lengthen and Strengthen, if you guys haven't been in it before, it is a super laid back class. We don't have music and we just kind of gab our way through movement and stretching and kind of lengthening our bodies. And so I just want to make sure everybody knows if you don't want to be muted, you can unmute yourself, and I have no issue with us kind of like chatting in. So it's extremely laid back for that reason. And I'm going to let it flow that way today too. So hi, everybody.
Everyone is on mute right now.
If you want to unmute yourself and say hi, you can. You don't have to, but I'm just saying hi for a minute before we get started.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
I
Hi.
like that everybody's saying. Hi, good, good. So grateful for the sun.
It hasn't gotten to my house yet.
It will. It
I
will.
hope so, yeah.
It will. By the end of this half an hour, I'm going to believe it to be.
All
Let me know if it does.
Okay.
So welcome everybody to Lengthen and Strengthen. I'm going to scoot back a little bit so you'll be able to see my whole body, but it seems really weird for me to talk to somebody from far away and not be able to see your faces. Although I realize now you're all on black screens anyway, so I'm just going to say hi to most of your names. Hi, all of your names.
This is Catherine from your
Hi,
class.
Catherine. Oh, Catherine. Hi.
It says Roldan. I know that's my husband's name, but I'm here.
I'm
So
glad- who is here that has taken my class before?
Catherine,
You have Tammy.
Okay.
I could unmute myself. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Tammy.
Awesome. I'm trying to read the names and see who's here.
Latifa.
You just have to press unmute if you want to like unmute yourself. You're welcome to, just because this is super laid back and I'm going to be fine with everybody unmuting themselves. I mean, we don't have to all talk over each other, and most of the time if you stay on mute, it will help the feedback a little bit, but if you want to come off it, please do.
Okay,
All right, we're going to get started.
Amy.
So it's not the morning, I realize it's afternoon. So good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to Lengthen and Strengthen. My name is Anna Marie. If you haven't taken this class before, we are just gonna kind of like stretch our bodies. I guess show of hands, but I can't see a lot of you guys. Maybe just a unison answer to this question. Is anybody's body feeling kind of tight, sore, or tense?
Yes.
Yes,
Well, that was unanimous.
for sure.
So I don't know about you guys, but I've been having a lot of, I feel like a lot in the neck, upper shoulder, kind of seems pretty tight. Whether you've been working out, I was in on with Lisa on Monday for some training. So you might be kind of sore, or if it's, you know, just, I don't know, hot stuff going on. Sometimes even sitting or staying in the same spot, like in our houses, I think we don't realize how much the tension kind of builds up from even into our fingers, toes, mouth, jaw. So today we're just gonna kind of try to relieve a lot of tension. Lengthen and Strengthen is a lot more about just relaxing the body. We do usually, so if you have a foam roller, any kind of strap, like a yoga strap, robe tie, a towel, like a long towel, you can grab that. I see if you have it. If not, no big deal, because you can just still do the stretches without anything. So I have my yoga strap here, if you guys have anything like this, or like a robe tie, or also, like I said, you don't have to have anything. All right. Just 1 second. Let me get this. You can go with on my phone. All right, so everybody's gonna come to a seated position. You can either sit cross-legged. Just gonna start to just do with our shoulders first. We're gonna roll them back a couple times. I want you to lift your shoulders all the way up to your ears and drop them back. Kind of think about rolling them forward and then coming all the way back. We're gonna stay here for full 10 of these rotations of our shoulder. And while you're doing that, I want you to take your jaw and I want you to relax your jaw. Separate your teeth. A few more. We've got about 4 more here. Does anybody feel this? I can see if you raise your hands. Mild. All right, now I want us to come the other way. So you're gonna bring your shoulders towards me, or towards the camera, I should say, computer, phone. Try to lift them as high up as you can and drop them. Think about them going into place, in and out of place. Kind of seems awkward to say sometimes in one move for a long time, but let yourself get through each one, each repetition. Reminding yourself to breathe. Now we're going to take our hands and we're just going to take our hands out in front of us. And I want you to do me a favor and I want you to squeeze your hand and I want you to make a fist. As tight as you can. All the tension of maybe the last few weeks, the day, the morning. And I want you to think about releasing it. We're going to let the hands go. Big jazz hands. Separate your fingers. Sparkle fingers, right? You can wiggle the fingers. There's a reason we're doing this. Take all those little mini tiny joints, all those little bones, let's work them out. Now take another big palms together as hard as you can. And I want you to rotate your hands, palms up. And now we're gonna let these fall. And now we're gonna wiggle our fingers, separating each finger. Try to make sure you rotate that thumb. Awesome. All right, give the arms a break, shake them out. We're gonna roll each shoulder again to the back, alternating this time. Four more on each side. Dropping the shoulder back and down. And last ones. Awesome. All right, I want you to take your feet out in front of you. You should be able to separate your toes. I like to call them jazz toes. So all of your toes are separated out in front of you. Your feet are sitting out in front of you. And the first thing I wanted to do is think about there being a string from your navel all the way up to the top of your head, pulling you up like a puppet, holding you tall. Shoulders are back and down. Slight micro bend in your knee, and I want us to reach all the way up. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our own little cave, like our own little spot. We're gonna slowly come forward. And whether you reach for your knees, your thigh, your calf, or shins, I guess I should say. I told you, none of the thing usually would I'm making sense anyways. In your hands, I want you to come forward and hold. Now I don't want you guys to get up. I want you to stay where you are. I'm going to come up just because I'm going to talk to the camera and make sure my voice is projected, but you guys stay there. I want you to make sure you have a slight little bend in the knee. And wherever you're reaching, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and release through the mouth. You might feel yourself go an inch or two deeper, maybe a half an inch. We're gonna try it again. If at any point this gets uncomfortable, you can always sit up and shake it out with the legs and go back into this position. Otherwise, I want you to try to stay and hold it here for a really amazing sitting forward fold. We're gonna hold here for another 15 seconds, and I'm gonna be quiet. All right, I want you to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Come again to the sitting position. Let's take our feet. What I want you to do, separate your legs a little bit, like coming right outside the hips, just a little bit, not all the way. I want to take our toes, and I'm going to try to have us reach our toes together for a hip rotation. Does anyone feel this? If you're close enough to unmute yourself, let me know. Hold there for about 5 more seconds. I want you to use your hips, not your knees, to do the rotation and come back to neutral. Shake out the legs a bit. We're gonna go back into that again. So stand tall. Again, remember, always think about something coming from your navel all the way up the head like a puppet. So you stand tall in your upper body. We don't want to slunch over, right? Bring those toes together and in. And remind yourself we're using this outer part of the hip for the rotation, not the knee. One last time. Come back to neutral and bring those toes in again. Now what we're gonna do is come back to neutral and take the outer rotation. So I want you to bring your feet together, your heels together like Dorothy, right? We do this in class. We keep our toes together and like Dorothy, your heels are together. You're gonna separate and open using the hip. Now, I don't know about you, but always it seems one side for me is like more flexible than the other. So if you're a little off kilter, that's okay. Otherwise, you can like try to balance yourself out. Come back in. Rotate back out. Try to get that pinky toe all the way as close to the floor as you can, separating those toes. Bring it back in. And one last time. Come back together. Awesome. We're gonna come back, reach all the way up, shoulders back and down, opening your heart to the sky or the roof, wherever you are right now. Probably one of the two. Take a deep breath in, and we're gonna come forward. And hold. For those of you that have a yoga strap or a rope tie, if you have to go get it, or a long towel, we're gonna try to use this strap. Next time you're here, we'll do this again. If you don't, it's fine. You do not have to have this. This is gonna be for the same move. The only difference is you're gonna have a slight bend in the knee, and you're just gonna have it pull you forward just a little bit more. So like I said, you can get a jump rope for next week's class. Anything that just kind of can like be pulled on both sides within one hand or the other. I was trying to think of other things. If anybody has any suggestions of household things that you have that could be anything like this, you can unmute yourself and let us know. And then come all the way back up. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna give our feet some love. This class is supposed to be exactly what it is. Slow paced, totally chilled. I want you to take your foot and start to massage your foot, especially around your ankle bones. We're gonna use our fingertips to press in. And I want you to think about something. Your feet right now, I'm not sure, I want you guys to unmute yourself if you're close enough. Is anybody experiencing a lot of shin, calf, and feet, like where they get like red or hot by the end of the night, where you're standing a lot, more in your house than you usually would? Your calves get really tight. Is anyone experiencing any of that? We're gonna come all the way through the bottom of the foot. I'm gonna push through. I'm not gonna use a bunch of technical terms, keep it simple. In the heel also. And then if you wanna even rub like a finger or two through, all the way through the middle of the foot, all the way up to the toes, all the way back down to the heel a couple times. And then we're going to go to each toe. I want you to think about separating each toe. The most painful part about Lengthen to Strengthen is sitting and taking care of yourself for 30 minutes of self-care. So awesome to you for coming today, because this isn't easy. This part, sitting still, in lots of ways we've been doing that, right? But if you are doing other exercise, if you're taking care of somebody at the house, doing a bunch of stuff, this is the stuff we need. Did it go out? Can you see me still? Okay, good. For some reason on my computer it went out, but I'll go with it. Let's go to the other foot. I'm gonna start back at that ankle bone. All the way into the heel. I don't know about you, but a lot of cooking in the kitchen, dishes, standing, it's caused my calves to get really, really tight. So I've been having to roll them out like every day, or just doing a self myofascial release, which is just breaking up that connective tissue, the fascia. Get your circulation moving through the blood stream and getting all this stuff starting to feel a little bit looser and a little less tight. Go to the toes, each toe. Jana, you can still see me, right? Because my computer is totally gone.
Yeah, Dash, I can. You're still there.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like Jana's like my ultimate Wizard of Oz. Like the man behind the curtain.
I am the Oz behind the curtain.
Yeah, it actually makes me really happy. All right, let's finish with this foot. And like I said, if you don't have a foam roller, that is fine. This is what a foam roller looks like. If you guys have them at home, grab them. If you don't, I'm going to show you alternates of what you can do to break up that fascia. So don't be like stressed if you don't have one. In fact, I'm not going to use it except for to show it for a minute, and then I'm going to not use it for those that don't have it. All we're wanting to do, like the foam roller like this I have, this is like your palm where it's flat. These are like your fingers in a massage, and these little nubs are like your fingertips. So it's doing the same thing that your hands can do. It's just a self-massage. It's just to help that fascia to get a lot looser, right? And we want to break it up. So it gets really, really tight. And like huge technical terms, you just want to feel better when you stand up. So if we're going to go to using the foam roller, I'm going to have you place both feet on it. And if you're familiar with this class, we've done this before. And you're just going to roll forward and backwards, nice and light. Don't apply too much pressure. If it gets really intense, this is level 1. If you want more, you would cross the foot over. Level 3, you could actually lift yourself off the ground. We're going to do from the ankle bone, right above the ankle bone, all the way to right below the knee. We're going to do the entire calf. So you're going to come forward and back on the foam roller. Nice and slow. Now, usually my favorite part of this class is when I hear the wincing start, because it can be like a good hurt so good, right? Not painful like injury, but it's very intense. So if you want to use a foam roller for the calves, I'm going to trust that you can go calf to calf. We're going to do one at a time. If you're not going to use a foam roller, if you don't have one, no big deal. What we're going to do is we're going to use the same things I talked about, the palm, the fingertips, and the fingers as our tool. So I'm going to take my calf and I'm going to start at the bottom. And everybody can see my calf pretty good, right? I've got my director and producer on the other side of this camera that can see me too. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the fingertips all the way. You see the meaty part of your calf? where both sides start to kind of come out, that's where I want you to really do some slight gentle digging. And then we're going to use our fingertips to kind of go all the way down and all the way up and roll your fingertips down. The same thing the foam roller is doing. If anybody has the ability to unmute themselves, let me know if you feel this. And anybody not using a foam roller. I do.
I feel it.
You do.
Oh yeah, because I haven't done this in like 2 weeks.
Okay, good. Now I want you to take your palm, make a fist, and now you're going to go up and down through your calf. And even you can come to the front gently with the knuckles to the shin. And then now we're going to get to this muscle right here. There's a tendon that runs down here. I want you to come through it all the way down and all the way up. This sometimes gets more tight than any other part of my, see, I can barely talk because that's how much it's painful. This part gets tighter than any other part of my lower leg. Does anybody feel that? And then remember, slide all the way down and all the way up. Now we're going to move to the other calf. So the same thing. If we're in the foam roller, I'm going to take and I'm going to roll from the calf. We're going to do the full calf. We're not dividing it into two. We're going to come all the way forward and all the way back. If you have a foam roller, and the second move I'd like you to try is to take, we're going to go side to side, like east to west. So we're going to come one way and then slowly take like 7 to 8 counts to get yourself all the way to the other side of that muscle. Now imagine if you put a little bit more pressure and crossed over, you'll feel that. You should feel, yeah, so typically in class, I'm not even kidding you, we all are by this time going like, It's my favorite part. It hurts so good. And once you've done that 4 times, east to west, now I want you to think about, I like to think of it as like a U. So I want you to kind of dig the muscle into the foam roller. And again, you can keep your other leg on top or lift yourself off the ground for more intensity. But if that is too much, like for me, that's too much today on this leg, I'm going to just stay with right here. And what we talk about, the same thing can be done without the foam roller. All we're trying to do is concentrate on one area and release that tension. Remember your fist. This is a really effective one. Take that fist and gently make a circular motion through this calf muscle. Can we feel that?
Yeah.
All right, so we've done the calves for a little bit. Now, if you have the foam roller, you're gonna do your thighs. I'm gonna show that first. The foam roller would be one or both at one time. I have a longer foam roller, but if you don't have one, that's fine. You would take one leg and you're gonna roll from right above the kneecap all the way right below the hip. And you're just gonna put the pressure on. Try to stay in a plank position, almost like from downward dog with the hands to a plank, back to downward dog. If you do not have a foam roller, we're gonna do the exact same thing with sitting up. And all I want you to do is think about, again, taking the knuckles and kind of digging into your thigh. And you typically start to tense your toes and your leg, so chill. Let yourself relax. I know, right? You're like, sure, whatever. It's not easier said than done. This is an awesome IT. When you're up here, you take and go from right at the hip bone all the way slow. And I mean like take 12 seconds to go right above the knee, right before the knee comes into it. You don't want to go to the knee. Take your knuckle, 1 or 2 knuckles, and I want you to slowly drag it all the way up the side of the leg. Does anyone feel that?
Yes.
And guys, I know this is like a different kind of workout if you've never been in this before, but let me tell you something. If you're walking, doing stuff all day, this is the stuff your muscles need to recover. This may not be burning a lot of calories, but what it is doing is when you are really tight and your fascia is not, that connective tissue is not broken up, you're actually burning 90% less calories doing everything else you're doing. So all the high intensity and all the aerobic stuff we do, that stuff is truly counterproductive because the body is too tight. This is a step you want to do to recover. So a day or so, 10 minutes a day, taking care of ourselves like this. We have time, right? We're home doing this stuff for the most part. Go to the other side. You can either be on the foam roller. I want to make sure today I show a lot of options without and with the foam roller. I tried to think of something else than a foam roller, and I thought of like a rolling pin, but then I thought that might be not really like was good. I think a rolling pin could go really bad really fast. I don't think you should use that. Now, some people do have tools. I have another one inside, like that is a roller, like from an actual company that makes them for muscle relief. You could use that. That's the same kind of self-myofascial release. I don't want to think of torturous devices. That's not good. Make sure you get this other IT band, okay? This is connecting your hip. You've got your hip, your knee, your ankle, right? So this is so tight a lot, and most of us, I'd be shocked if it isn't, unless you foam roll on a daily basis. Remember, take those knuckles again, right above the knee, slowly. Take 10 to 12 seconds to get all the way up. My producer and director on the other side of the camera are like wincing, so that's good. I'm imagining you, a lot of you guys, if you're on this, have been doing some of these classes. So by Wednesday of the week, you should be a little bit sore, especially if you haven't been doing a whole lot. So glad we can do these with you. I can't think of a better time than Wednesday at noon to start to just, work out your IT band. All right, let that go. We're gonna slowly, and I mean slowly, get up to standing. When you're ready, if you need a drink of water, take a drink of water. Self-myofascial release should make you a little bit thirsty. That's normal. It's like when you get a massage and they recommend that you drink afterwards a lot. It's really normal to get thirsty during this, especially if you're using a foam roller. But actually, I cannot believe how effective it is without a foam roller. I can't and won't lie to you. I never lie. I'm not a liar. I've never done it that long without a foam roller, and that was really effective. So that's good to know. I want us to stand up, please. Feet right under the hips. And all we're gonna do right now is we're gonna come up to lift our heel off the ground, stretching out the bottom of the foot. Does anyone feel that?
Dash, you are at less than 5 minutes.
All right, thank you. I can't see the clock because of the glare. and lower. We're gonna come all the way up. Reach your hands to the sky. Now, I want you to open them up like a tree. Shoulders back and down. Slight bend in the knee, and I want us to reach to one side. And slowly come back up to center. Deep breath in, and exhale to the other side. Now I want us to take and gently grasp the wrist. Breathe in, shoulders back and down, and slowly come to the side. Reach back up to the top, heart to the sky, cross over, and come back to the other. Now this move, I want us to just start moving. It's gonna sound silly. You'll probably be in your house if anybody's around you. Animals don't always like this move either. I want you to just kind of go side to side and let your arms hang. I don't want you to think about anything. I can't even see half of you anyways. So if your shoulders want to rotate while you're going side to side, people call this a lot of things. I just say like, let go. Work out your spine. I'm gonna stay here for about 15 more seconds. So like I said, if you want to start using your arms as you're doing it, rolling them back, release the tension in your feet. We tend to kind of want those toes to grab into the ground, so release that. And one more on each side. And if you're not dizzy after that, take a deep breath. And then when you're ready, I want you to grab this yoga strap, or like I said, a rope tie, or if you get a really long towel, a jump rope by next week. I want us to think about taking right outside our hips, maybe about 6 inches, grabbing very lightly on, and we're gonna bring this all the way up, making a Y with our hands. We are gonna take and try to get a good shoulder rotation in, take all the way forward, and you're gonna come all the way back to where it gets a little uncomfortable and stop there. And then come all the way forward, back to the hips. Inhale and hold. Each time, hopefully by like, if you guys do this even like probably 20 seconds a day, half a minute, by next week, you'll be able to rotate through unless you have like a shoulder issue. But if you do, all that's gonna do is help you to strengthen that.
1 minute left.
I'm gonna do one last move. All we're gonna do is come up here, and I'm gonna pull this down to the side again as far as we can go. If you have no, you would just drop it and come back up to the top. And the last move will come all the way to the side. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, and come back all the way up. Deep breath in. And only one more thing required. Just smile, have a wonderful day, and I will see you back here next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
good to
guys.
see your smiling face again.
Thank
You too. And if you guys want to know for next week, grab a foam roller or the strapper. Like I said, any of those things, kind of think about those kind of concepts at what you have in your house and bring them in for the next class, okay?